Fraser, and I'm a first-year admissions coordinator here with the Office of Admissions. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here this morning and speak before you all. I want to first thank Advancement and Alumni Relations for hosting this breakfast and asking me to be here. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to my admissions family for being here this morning. It is a fun time every single day at work, so I really appreciate their support day in and day out. Truth be told, I could not really find the right words or theme to share this morning as I began to think about this breakfast. I knew when I would walk in the room that I would see a lot of familiar faces that played such a role in my life as a student and now as a professional that I thought to myself, what could I possibly bring to this breakfast or message that I have not learned from this group already? So I will certainly do my best to bring that message. A proud graduate, UNCW graduate in 2013 with a degree in political science, I came to UNCW with a pretty calculated plan. A local Ashley High School graduate, my intentions were to commute from home, save money, and ultimately transfer to another institution 2 years later. And it's interesting to see my Uni 101 instructor here, and I have you in my speech, so I'm going to make it a little more informal, but say, I'm sitting in Uni 101 with Will Wilkinson from the Learning Center, and I remember journaling and saying, you know what, I'm just going to leave, I'm not happy, why am I staying at home with my parents? And he said, get involved and make a difference and make your journey count. I never forgot that, and I want to thank you for that message because I did just that. And I guess that's where my story begins and when something changed with my experience here at UNCW. Opportunities of involvement, of research, and community truly overwhelmed me as I began to learn what it meant to be a Seahawk. I'm sitting in a classroom with about 22 students. I'm being taught by faculty that are well-researched in their field, and their priority is teaching. I wanted more, and that's when the Seahawk experience truly consumed me. My 4 years here as a student far exceeded any expectation that I could have ever imagined, ultimately serving as the student body president my last year. A responsibility and a memory that I really cherish, will cherish for the rest of my life. This institution truly shaped me and molded me into the professional that I am today, and continues to do so now that I'm back here on campus as a professional. In my current role, I have the opportunity to travel the country recruiting highly qualified and diverse students to join the Seahawk family. And I've got to tell you, the desire and the passion that I see in those students who want to be here is not only rewarding, but truly powerful. It reminds me that what I do, what we all do in this room matters and is important and critical to the continued success of UNCW. While our location is certainly tough to beat, I'm also reminded that location isn't just the first variable that students look at when they are applying to UNCW. It's the reputation of our academic programs, it's the opportunities of student involvement, there are many different facets and organizations, our study abroad programs, but above all else, the authentic commitment to the undergraduate student experience that draws our students to UNCW. As a result, I'm also reminded that it is my responsibility and contribution to this institution as a staff member and alumnus that needs to be purposeful and meaningful. This university continues to provide opportunities for me as a professional, and while I work toward my master's degree in public administration, I know just how fortunate and blessed I am to reap these opportunities. These opportunities are available for us all in this room, and this is why I give. What does it mean to give? Whether you give monetarily, volunteer as a club advisor, or invest in our students, your contributions matter. I remember vividly interning in the Student Health Center, and there was one individual in that department that really I built a special bond with. Her name is Emily Bridgman, class of 77, and I see Emily here today. I've got to tell you, Emily, our conversations, the memories that you share with me with your time as a Seahawk were so special to me. I knew just how important it was for her to build relationships with students. And it is your example and your inspiration that I try to impart that on our tour guides in the Office of Admissions every day. So I just want to take a moment to publicly thank, I would say, the biggest Seahawk basketball fan in the room, Emily Bridgman, in the class of 77. I miss our conversations, but I know I will see you at some basketball games this season. I give because I know that as a recent graduate, the importance that applied learning and internship opportunities have on an undergraduate educational experience. Drawing transferable skills, theory to practice, classroom to workforce is critical for recent graduates who are in a competitive job market. I give because I value higher education, because I know that in a tumultuous political climate, coupled with competition from many different types of schools, there is still value in attending a residential institution. I give because unless we work to meet the needs of students tomorrow, our university's innovative technologies will fall behind our peer institutions. I know that cutting-edge technologies like those found in the patient simulation labs were funded in part by the faculty and staff. I give because I love UNCW. This place has provided more for me than I could have ever dreamt of as an 18-year-old freshman arriving at orientation. Future students deserve a community of learning that we all have benefited from and continue to do so in our respective professional roles. If you've never given before, I challenge you to make a donation today. We've got about 1,000 funds that need our support. And what's really interesting is we have the opportunity to choose where we can make a difference. A high level of faculty and staff participation helps to create a positive culture of philanthropy on our campus and ultimately inspires others to invest in our institution. Where will you make your change? Where will you invest? Last year, about 32% of our faculty and staff donated to UNCW. And I would argue, as a collective community here this morning, we all can be the leaders that will help see that number rise year after year. So I ask you, will you join me today? Will you continue to provide opportunities for our future and current Seahawks to reap the many benefits we've all enjoyed? As I close, I want to again say how honored it is to stand before you this morning. The community we share here as alumni and staff is both unique and rewarding, and how fortunate we are to work at an institution that continues to foster that community year after year. I thank you for your time and your willingness to participate and give back, and go Seahawks.